Hi, I'm Neil Gardner from Bicycling Magazine, and today we're going to talk about setting up your suspension, and in particular your suspension pressure, which can dramatically improve your suspension's performance. First things first, you'll need to adjust the rebound setting to the fastest rebound possible. You can see there's a tortoise and a hare, so you'll need to turn this all the way to fast so it doesn't affect your judgment of what a fork should feel like. Next up, we're going to pump the shock to the correct pressure, and for that we need a shock pump available from most good bike shops. Screw the shock pump on and it should make a little hiss sound as it opens it. A good rule of thumb is to set the pressure to exactly the weight that you are. So I'm 75 kilos, so I should allow for maybe another 5 kilos of equipment, so I'll pump it up to 80 psi. Okay, the next part is purely subjective. It's basically how the shock feels to you. Some people prefer a softer shock, some people prefer a harder one. So for me, I'm going to test it while I have the shock pump in, and it still feels a little bit hard. So I'm going to press this little button here and carefully release, got about 5 psi. Now we're going to get the damping set. This again is a subjective thing. Some of the trail riders like it to be a bit slow, so when the big hits come, it doesn't throw them off their bikes, and some people, like the cross-country riders, like it to be a bit faster. So I think the best thing is to set it somewhere in between and then take it from there. Now for the rear suspension, this little ring over here is actually here for a reason. So what we do is we push it all the way to the back of the fork, the shock there, and very carefully we sit on the bike to lower the suspension. First, before you do that, make sure that the suspension is unlocked. So without bouncing on the bike, sit carefully down, rest all your weight on it, and get back off again. And this distance here should be about 8 millimeters. Now I think I need to let a little bit of air out, so let's pop the shock pump on. And again, using this, I'll let out a little bit of pressure. That should be about right. With suspension pressure, there's no hard and fast rule, so it's really up to you to decide whether you want it hard or soft. So the best thing is to experiment and see what works best for you.